We're coming to you with a special video. There's been a huge shakeup, and I'm super excited. We got Mr. J.R. Berrigan, the head of Gold Memorial Family. Excited to share some news. Might be the biggest shakeup we've seen in a long time.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah, we've got some shakeup, obviously, in the final expense world, and it's not a shock to anybody, but Senior Life fired a couple of their managers. So let's say terminated, because that's what they did.
The managers they terminated, were they writing a little bit of business or a lot of business?
Ton of business. They were the two best managers that they had.
Wow.
Two best managers. They were building legacies. One had been there for 10 years, and I'm not sure how long the other one's been there.
4 or 5 years, I think, something like that.
Two of the hardest working people that I've ever seen in my life, right, ever in this whole industry. And just like Senior Life does, they terminated them right away.
Wow.
I terminated and that was it. Said thank you very much. I don't even think they said thank you.
We've been talking for a long time. There's a lot of things, obviously, when we have agents that come from, different companies and different stuff, we get a lot of insight to other companies and contracts and things of that nature.
Take Senior Life, for example. They have this podcast that owner does, or whoever he is, I forget his name, but he talks about Lincoln leavers. Is that what it is? It's just the stupidest thing ever. Who cares what company you used to work for? If you leave a company, you look at their track record, and it's the same thing that they do every single time. They terminate the agent. They hit you with debt, and you can't pay your debt back. And in 90 days, they take all your renewals. You have nothing. Absolutely nothing.
At one point, I think they even said that they made an addendum to it, and the agents were going to have to do that. Didn't we hear that? Yeah.
What they did was they hid the addendum, right? Let me rephrase that. They took out their 7.7, I think, and they hid it somewhere in their contract because it's still there. I've got a letter from one of the managers that they terminated who was writing $2 million a month.
Wow.
They terminated him and hit him with all that debt. It's absolutely crazy. When an agent's out there and he's working his ass off and he gets stuck with a company, and pride will let you stay at that company. Right? You stay at the company, you know that they're going to screw you.
Yeah.
Yet you still stay with that company until something like this happens. And now, where are you at? You have nothing. And keep in mind, if you have an agent who's been there for years and they're in their 60s, their 70s, then they wake up and they have nothing, no retirement, anything.
And you're basically restarting at zero.
Yeah, how are you going to restart at 70 years old? It's impossible, right?
Wow.
That's the crazy thing. And it's ridiculous. No one reads their contract.
Yeah.
And if someone points out, like I have been telling everyone for the last 4 years, read your contract. It says specifically on your contract, right? And you've got Senior Life telling you, don't work for an agency, work for the company, ask them for the contract, get their contract, ask your regional for his contract. Why?
Yeah.
Right? No one asks you for your contract. You have an agency there to protect you from companies. Yeah. I don't care what company it is. People like me and you help the agents by having an agency because we negotiate for you against the companies. Lincoln Heritage is a great company. Senior Life is not a good company. There's a million other companies you can be with, and be with any company you want, but read your contract.
Yeah.
Senior Life specifically on their contract makes you say, I shouldn't work here.
Yeah.
Right? Common sense tells us. That's you look at it and you're like, I shouldn't work here. Why would I work here? They're going to take all my renewals.
One of the biggest reasons I got in the business was the residual aspect of building something that was going to be there. And I couldn't imagine being here all this time and then just overnight.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the tricky part. Any company can offer you 20% renewals, 30% renewals. It doesn't matter unless they pay them out. And that's where people get sucked in by not reading their contract. Say, here's my contract. Have anybody read it to you and say, wow, if you leave here and if we terminate your contract for whatever reason or no reason, then if your account doesn't pay off in 90 days, we're going to take all your renewals.
Yeah.
Plus, we're going to hit you with any other debt that you have. Matter of fact, let's hold your chargebacks until the very end.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And a lot of people don't know this, but you're in competition with Senior Life if you're an agent there because they have their own agency within the company.
That you're working against?
It's absolutely nuts. Why does anyone work there? It blows me away.
I was talking with a gentleman that's real familiar, and he was saying a lot of agents opt for, I believe it's a 60% advance, lower advance with no chargebacks. But what they don't realize also is that debt is accruing, right?
Still.
And then I haven't verified it, so again, verify yourself. But I was told that they also charge a 1%, I think it's 1% a
interest.
month. So 12% a year.
Which is nuts.
On your debt. Right?
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
You know, why wouldn't they? They do everything that you don't want them to do, they do it. And people don't leave because, like I said, they're stuck. They feel stuck.
Yeah.
Common sense will tell you, Well, read your contract, right? This business is residual income, period. Lincoln Heritage pays out hundreds of millions of dollars a year in residual income. You can read their financials. You can read Senior Life's financials and understand exactly how much they don't pay.
Where's that 150% contract?
It's absolutely nuts.
Another thing that a lot of people don't talk about is they're one of the companies, are the only companies that I'm aware of, that don't pay on the policy fee. And then also the other little for signing up the service, whatever, the legacy or whatever.
Legacy, legacy. Why would he?
But that's, I think, $84 a month, whatever it is, right? On every policy there's no commission being paid.
Why
to the
would
agents, the managers, and you think about how many policies does GM write a month?
Right.
You know?
And I don't care whatever you see on social media about these people saying, oh, Senior Life, all your life, Senior Life this, Senior Life this. It's not a good company. It's ridiculous that people actually still work there.
Yeah.
If I've got $100 million invested in a company or $10 million and I've been there for years and years, I'm looking at their financials. Right? I'm looking at their AM Best rating. I'm looking at everything and be like, wow, has anyone ever retired here? Maybe there's one person that I know at Senior Life that might be able to retire. His name is Charlie.
Yeah.
Right? And that's because he has an income from armed services.
Yeah.
Right? And you look at everybody else and you can't do it.
Yeah.
Right? People that leave Lincoln Heritage are still getting their renewal checks, including one of the owners at Senior Life. He still gets his renewal check from Lincoln Heritage, but yet he can tell everybody, oh, Lincoln Heritage doesn't pay their renewals, Lincoln Heritage doesn't do this, and he's one of the persons that gets paid.
He's still getting paid.
It's absolutely nuts.
So let's say, hypothetically, an agency is like a buffer for the agents. So if Gold Memorial, God forbid, ever left Lincoln Heritage, where would Senior Life rank on companies that you would take your agents to?
0. They wouldn't even be a thought.
Not even a consideration.
Not even a consideration. And only because look at their financials.
Yeah.
Can they afford it? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
They can't afford an agency that size.
Yeah.
And there's 100 other companies you can work for.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not dogging on Senior Life. I'm just telling you the truth. Yeah. I can pick up my phone right now and call one of the people that they terminated who's writing $2 million a month. That's $24 million a year. He should have hundreds of thousands of dollars in renewals after 10 years.
Yeah.
But guess what? He has nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. And that's because of your contract. That goes for everybody out there who thinks that they have something. You have nothing.
Yeah.
They have absolutely nothing. Yeah, that's this business. It's a crazy business. Agencies like Golden Memorial, like Tailored Legacies, are here to protect the agent against companies to understand that. My phone's ringing right now. I've got Lewis Burns, one of the ones that they terminated on the phone. Let me answer it. Let's see what Lewis says.
All right, perfect.
And Mr. Burns, I've got you live on a podcast. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
JR, how you doing?
Good. How are things in the new world of yours?
It's a good place, JR. I signed my contract on last Thursday, and I've been paid 4 times since I signed my contract.
Great. And you can honestly say that you've read your new contract and everything's in order, right?
Everything's in order. Some of it I negotiated myself.
See? And that's what you need to do.
Yep. At the end of the day, JR, these insurance companies are going to try to get us to sign contracts that might not be in our best favor. Yeah, you've seen contracts that just didn't look good to you, right? So we do need to read our contracts.
And I just have to ask you a simple question. I'll let you get back to recruiting. Are you happy that you left Senior Life?
I'm ecstatic.
And do you feel more comfortable now and you know that you're going to build a renewal base now?
Absolutely. JR, let me tell you something. It was like a cloud. A cloud has been released. I see the light, bro.
And I've been telling you for years about the renewal base. Why did you stay? I just want to know that.
The front end money.
Yeah, and that's what you live for, right? That's what we all live for.
Yep. However, my former person, you know who I'm talking about, he told me that if I left, I was not getting any of my account. He was gonna keep my account. That's what he said in the email.
Crazy, huh?
Yep.
But that's what they do. That's what they do.
Yep.
You'll rebound, Lewis, because we know that you're one of the hardest regionals I've ever seen in my life. I love your recruiting practices and that you've got hundreds of people at your meeting. It was a shock to both me and Adam that you split up with Senior Life, but hey, it's good for you that you move on.
Yes, sir. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. I appreciate your time.
All right. I appreciate your time. Thanks for calling in. There you go. What else can you say?
Oh man.
There's not much else. He's a great man. His recruiting practices are fantastic. He's got hundreds of people in the rooms. He works hard. He does the old school recruiting, which I wish that I had that much energy as he does. And look at him.
Yeah.
What do you have today? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
He'll rebound. He's got the skills. 10 years is the tough part, right?
You waste 10 years of time. And that's what every person there at Senior Life does. You think that you have a renewal base and you don't.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't even let me talk about the stock, because I can't even talk about the stock.
Let's talk about the stock.
I can't do that. You've got some stock in what? I'll give you a piece of paper right now and tell you, Adam, you can have stock right now.
And don't put Golden Memorial. Put Golden Memorial LP would be great, right?
The agency. That's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And people have to realize that. They just make yourself aware. Listen, as agents, I'm an agent, Adam's an agent. We've started from the bottom, worked our way up, right? Mm-hmm. Look at yourself and be like, wow, let me educate myself. Let me read it again. Let me read it again. Let me have Adam read it. Let me have my mom read it. Let me have so-and-so read it so that I make sure this is what I've got. Yeah. And if I don't have what I think I have, get out. Yeah. Get out of there and leave and build it somewhere else. Build something for you and your family. Take those two managers that got terminated. They have a legacy. Yeah. They had a legacy just taken right out underneath them.
Let's talk about the last two people that retired from GM, right?
We had two retire, and then we just had one pass away. And their residual income is probably, I'm guessing, between $30,000 and $40,000 a month.
So they're still getting paid that money.
Still right now.
And they've been gone for what, you think 4 years?
Oh yeah, 4 years? 5, 6, 8 years. And that's exactly what this business is all about. Right? Everyone knows that the leads cost a lot of money. Everyone knows you have advances and you have chargebacks, right? The agencies like ours, we monitor everyone's chargebacks. We monitor your debt so that if something does happen to you or something that happens to me, you're covered. You and your family are covered. And that's the name of this game.
And Golden Memorial goes above and beyond. We've modeled even our office after you guys building a retention team. That's money that's going to be there to pay those agents, those managers for years and years to come. And there's not a lot of people out there, not a lot of agencies or companies that are doing that.
It's important. You want lifetime renewals, right? A Lincoln Heritage has lead financing. Yeah. Everything's about residual income, right? I think today they call it passive income, right? Passive income I've been on passive income for 39 years. Yeah. But we used to call it renewals. Now they call it passive income. Yeah. And it's important. That's what we work for. Yeah. People like you.
My money's outlived me.
Period. And it's not, it's a kind of a cool feeling. Everyone say that's a great feeling, but it's really not. Yeah. Knowing that your money is going to outlive you is not a cool feeling because I'm there now, right? Yeah. I know that my money is going to outlive me. Yeah. But what makes that so important is that I know that my kids are taken care of. Yeah. And I know that my grandkids are taken care of. Yeah. Period. That's what we work for. You built an actual legacy, and that's what it's all about.
I think you're into like the great.
Yeah, absolutely I am. But I know for a fact, you look at someone like Lincoln Heritage, financial stability. Yeah. Which is unbelievable. Yeah. You look at their financial stability and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm not worried about it. But if you look at Senior Life, of course you'd be worried about tomorrow. Yeah. Let alone 30 years from now.
And someone that's selling you stock that's a private company.
It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah. But hey,
I think that they get stuck there. Like
you
said, the front end money, right? And then you start building a pay through. I was talking to an agent. He's like, I got a great pay through. And I go, it's nice now, but at some point in time, you're going to want to retire. You're going to want to slow down, right?
Your account's not going to pay off. Listen, Senior Life has this great leader. We'll use his last name. His first name is Doug, right? Mm-hmm. Good guy, great leader, smart guy, right? But he's in the same boat. Yeah. He's in the same boat. He's a good guy, right? He's in the same boat unless he has a special contract, which the owner and the owners of Senior Life can make those contracts where that clause is removed and you can actually physically see it removed. Then it's okay. But guess what? They won't do that. Yeah. They never have.
Too much money.
Too much money. And then you can't give out 150% contracts. Yeah. Or 160, whatever they're giving out. Yeah. Right? Come on, guys.
It's crazy. It's definitely one of the biggest shakeups I've seen, but it'll open a lot of eyes, hopefully.
It opens a lot of eyes, and unfortunately, it had to happen to two of the best people in the industry, because those two guys are one of the best two people that I've met. Yeah. And I've talked to them extensively, both of them. Yeah. Right? And they're two of the greatest guys ever. They work hard. Their work ethic is there. They just happen to pick the wrong company. Yeah. Right? And I don't know where they're going to land, but I'm sure where they land, they're going to do that company great.
Yeah, they'll bounce back. They're both killers for sure.
Yeah, they are. Really good guys.
That's crazy. We'll see what the next couple of weeks, couple of months what happens.
Yes.
I'm sure it's going to open a lot of eyes. That's for sure.
Yeah. If you're a senior life agent and you're out there, open your contract, open it and read it. Doesn't matter what company you choose, Lincoln, Security National, read it and go to that company because they do not have that same program, that same clause.
Yeah. Compare
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Compare contracts and educate yourself. Like I said, us as agents, we're terrible at reading our contracts. We just want, like Lewis said, upfront money. We get stuck and we want that upfront money, but we don't care about the future, which what is so important to us is the future.
Yeah.
Our future is important because it's your responsibility to take care of your kids and your grandkids. And that's what we have.
Oh, man. I appreciate you coming
All right.
on.
Yeah. Let's do it again. I'm ready anytime.
All right. We'll definitely get you in here. I got a bunch of follow-up questions from our last meeting.
Yeah,
so
perfect.
We'll definitely get you back on the podcast. But,
We'll do it.
Thanks for
having me, Adam.
Yeah. Thanks for dropping that knowledge,
All right,
boss, man. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. All right.